Thousands of people have talked about the issues with social media, and it should come to no surprise that yes, there is a dark, twisted side to this virtual world that we're living in. But what if I told you that there's more to the story? You've heard about the basic issues that I don't really need to talk about, but I'll just summarize it really quick. The comparing, the insecurities, and much more. But what about the dark side of deleting social media that you're probably not even aware you're living in? There's a way to delete social media the correct way, and there's a way to keep social media the correct way too. I deleted social media for a long time, and then I got it back. I'm always on and off with the deleting social media thing. I would have it for 3 months, I would delete it for 2 months, and then I would repeat the cycle over and over again. In fact, I'm probably going to delete it again right after I film this video. But I say all of this to show that I am no stranger to the positive and negative side effects of deleting social media and having it. I was the happiest I've ever felt when I first got Instagram. It was a whole new world that let a not so popular kid feel popular for the first time. It was a virtual reality that gave me a persona that I could pretty much just shift into anything I wanted. It was like I was on stage. People were forced to see me, forced to see my ideas up until they blocked me. But nonetheless, I felt like I was on top of the world. That's until I started to battle with reality, trying to manage the load of this persona that I created, battling for the attention of everybody else's more creative personas. And so with how popular I felt at the time, I began to realize that this was a billion times worse than real life. Because at least in real life, nobody has a number over their head dictating how popular they are. So I made the decision to take control of my life and just delete it. It was difficult and tough to manage, but nonetheless, I did it. In the same way it felt like I was entering a whole new virtual reality, when I deleted it, it felt like I was exiting that world. That not so popular person had to exit that virtual world and go back to the cruel reality of being unseen and unheard. At the end of the day, everybody wants the ability to be seen. And I feel like if you take out the easy path, you're gonna find more valuable friendships. Because that's really all social media is. It's an easy path to filling that void of being unseen or unheard. So you fill that void with superficial friendships and nameless faces. And I just assumed that if I left that easy path and took the hard route, I would find more valuable friendships. But that was my mistake. I never really found what I was looking for, and so I got social media back. And trust me, all of the good things that you hear about deleting social media are so true. I felt all of it. I felt all the benefits. I felt all the good things that people say about it. And there's only one reason that you would go back to something that's that toxic for you. And that one reason just being that you're probably lonely. You miss the feeling of being on stage. You miss the feeling of being heard. And so you fall victim to your vulnerability. The dark truth about deleting social media is how vulnerable you become. And I'm not saying that vulnerability is an issue. There's strength in vulnerability. But unfortunately, that vulnerability can lead people down a dark path. And there's a few paths that people go down, and let me know in the comments which one is you. But the reason that people quit their social media fast so often can only really be for a few reasons. Firstly, the most obvious path is just feeling lonely. Deleting it makes you feel like you've lost the one place where all your friends are. That entire social media world is full of your so-called friends, and I won't lie, it's scary to leave that bubble. So much so that you ignore all of the negatives to social media, the comparing, the judgment, the insecurities, just so you could feel connected to people that probably wouldn't be focused on you at all if you didn't follow them back. Similar to that feeling of just being unheard. Like I said, entering this virtual world, you have the stage. You have an entire page where you can preach what you want, voice whatever opinion you want. You have an entire audience that's pretty much forced to listen. A lot of times, people feel vulnerable when they let that go. For myself, it was somewhat the insecurity and fear of rejection. Just the fear that if I voice my opinion, somebody's just gonna reject the idea or just not listen or not care. It's so much easier on social media where you can just filter out which responses you like. It completely eliminates that fear of rejection. And I hope this kind of opens your eyes to whatever vulnerability you felt, because these are definitely not the only feelings of vulnerability. I know that for me, I became vulnerable in my own insecurity. I feel like it was a mix of everything. The loneliness, the feeling of being unheard, but that wasn't necessarily my dark reality. My dark reality was how self-absorbed I became because of my insecurities. Like I said, I was vulnerable, and my inability to feel secure enough after deleting social media left me being judgmental out of my own loneliness. And I know it's not just me, because I've seen other people share their stories, but when I deleted social media, that coping mechanism that I had to defend my vulnerability became judging other people. I became judgmental over people that had social media because deep down, I still needed it. You become victim to this vulnerability because you delete social media the wrong way. So do a lot of other people. So here is my way of doing it the right way. Just like any other addiction, you need to set clear goals. Don't do it just because everybody's telling you to. You need to find your own genuine reason as to why you're deleting social media. It's not enough anymore to just delete it and leave it at that because of how ingrained it is into our everyday lives. Now you need an actual outlet, something to make you feel just a little bit less vulnerable. Pick up a hobby that makes your life feel more meaningful. Find real friends, find religion, the list goes on. Find a clear goal and a clear vision for how you want your life to look after you delete it. A common mistake is that people just delete it and think to themselves, now what? Instead of thinking about that tough question, picture what you want beforehand. Giving yourself something to look forward to will make that vulnerability feel just a little bit less aggressive. On top of that, if you view your vulnerability as something that strengthens you, I promise you, you will be unstoppable. And so right now, I'm going to be deleting all of my social medias except for the Instagram that I use to communicate with you guys. And the goal for this is to just pretty much lose all distractions and build a little bit more discipline, stay focused, and enjoy myself. And I hope you guys can go on the same journey as me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. And I'm still going to be on my Instagram that I use to talk to you guys. So if you want to connect with me, the link is in the description below. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.